The video you've all been waiting for. What caused our cheap Maserati engine to blow up and what kind of damage did we find? Big thanks to Omaze for sponsoring today's video. More on how you can win a GT3 coming up in a bit.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another video in the cheap flooded Maserati series. You know, once upon a time this series used to be a fun collection of videos outlining our purchase of this beautiful 2018 Maserati Gran Turismo for dirt cheap. But as you guys saw last video, this series has quickly turned into an absolute nightmare, and I'm sure a lot of you have been looking forward to this video talking about the carnage, going through the engine and figuring out what happened, what made it blow up, and what damage we're gonna find literally here in a few minutes when we go over to Corsa.
Yeah, we'll see if we can turn this thing around. I don't know if there's gonna be any saving that engine. Corey says that he's got the engine out of the car, so we will be able to see it for ourselves. And we'll try to figure out this mystery of what happened. I'm sure all of you have your opinions.
But clearly with that explosion being so big on the highway and Corey telling us, yeah, you guys are gonna need a new engine, I quickly got to looking on eBay and all across the internet. I was seeing engines for like $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 with like super high mileage, and they were older model years too, like 2010 and 2011. But they did make slightly different horsepower numbers. Our model makes 454, and the early 2010s I think made 430 something. Who knows if it's just tuning, but we wanted one that made 454 from the factory. So get this, we found one that just got listed by Miami Fine Auto Sales. It was a 2014, so fairly modern. It was the full 454 horsepower model, and it only had 40,000 miles. Our car had like 31,000 miles, close enough, just slightly higher miles now on the motor, but they were only asking 4,800 bucks. So I gave them a call, explained the situation. They felt bad and they knocked off $1,000. So we got the engine for $3,800. Obviously the install is going to be a huge bill as well with Corey, but honestly not as bad as I was thinking when it first blew up. I'm like, yep, there's 20 grand down the drain. But
yeah, everybody talks about this being a Ferrari collaborative engine, and so we were expecting Ferrari prices.
We got some American prices. 3,800 bucks for a V8 engine. That's not
you can
bad.
hardly buy an LS1
it's like what
for
an
that.
LS1 goes for. Heck.
A few minutes later.
Oh, look at that, Christian. Okay, we got both motors. This one looks like the old motor. Corey, hello.
Hey, how's it going,
Welcome
guys?
back to the channel. Can you explain where you're at on this engine swap? And this, I take it this one's the old one?
That is the old one, yeah.
Okay, well, you're making great progress on the new one. We'll talk about that in a second. But you told us there was some destruction that we had to come see in person.
Oh yeah, there's a little bit of destruction. Definitely windowed the side of the block.
No way.
Get down here.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What?
Then, like, I don't know, maybe you might be able to see my fingers coming through it.
Holy. Okay, so not just one hole in the block, two?
2 holes, one on each side.
Okay, so how do you get one on each side?
Well, you know, because cylinder 4 and 8, one connector rod went, the other one started to go, and then it just blew out, and then unfortunately it's such a tight fit motor, it just...
Yo guys, let me get a minute of your time to give a big shout out and thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Omaze. Omaze is giving you the chance to win a brand new 2022 Porsche 911 GT3, all while supporting a great cause. Every donation supports the Dempsey Center, which is committed to making life better for people managing the impacts of cancer by providing a variety of diverse, personalized, high quality services at no cost to the client. That sounds like a huge win-win to me. You help those in need while having the chance of winning a brand new Porsche GT3. A little side note, I actually drove one of these 992 GT3s around a track in Vegas the other week, and this car was mind-boggling. The handling, the speed, the comfort, the precision of this car. Somehow Porsche continues to one-up themselves. And to think that somebody out there is going to be winning this beautiful ride, I might be a wee bit jealous of that person. But hey, if by chance one of you all win this car, be sure to call me up, and if you ever need somebody to babysit it, I'm your guy. To potentially win this 2022 Porsche GT3 while supporting the Dempsey Center, simply hit my special link in the description below, www.omaze.com/jrgarage. Once again, that is omaze.com/jrgarage.
Christian, thoughts?
What's salvageable on this thing? Is it even worth taking it apart? And
The heads might be okay, but you know, we could take those off and look, but I was gonna make a cool table out of it for you.
Oh, okay,
You know.
all right. At least we could have some nice home decor, a nice custom table.
Some cool memories, you know.
That actually would be really cool. You guys see those tables that they make out of engine blocks all the time? Like imagine if we have a blown up Maserati table.
yeah, we do have a piece of just about all of our rebuilds from every car. We haven't displayed them yet, but we're looking forward to doing that. Kind of having like a Hall of Fame or a wall of shame of all the parts. And this car didn't have anything for us until now.
We got a big thing for the wall of shame. A whole motor to make a table. Okay, I like the table idea. That would be cool. We'll definitely take you up on that.
Yeah.
What's this? Starter?
Oh yeah, the starter. So the starter runs really close to the block. Basically, when the block blew out, it also took out the starter, which is some pretty cool carnage.
Jeez, that...
This wasn't the fault of just like the starter randomly engaging when we were cruising.
Oh no, not at all. I mean, if it was, that'd be interesting.
What could have happened? It couldn't have been the engine damage that was pre-disclosed at the auction.
Well, duh.
Yeah, in hindsight, them saying engine damage on the auction listing, maybe they were right after all.
Yeah,
maybe it did have engine damage. Because yeah, like 100,000 people want to know what happened, but there's no definitive answer. I was thinking like maybe the person who had it flooded in their garage, maybe they drove it to the shop to have it looked at to sort out those couple issues, and then maybe when the shop like got it, they saw the water in it and said like, oh geez, this thing's gonna have engine damage from running it. And I'm sure us idling it out there didn't help either, but that was probably the cause, you would think?
Most likely. You know, when we went through it, I mean, the car was running fine. We didn't have any issues at the time, and obviously something was cracked or starting to let go, and that's what happened.
So maybe like all the water in the engine wore down the premature wear on like the bearings.
You know,
and
exactly. And water doesn't really like to compress.
You flushed it more times than I would have thought to flush it. I figured once would do it, and
I flushed it a lot. Yeah.
Geez.
So to clear up the comments, I'm sure it came up on the last video saying there was still water in the engine. No, there was not. He flushed it so many times.
Yeah.
It's just when there was water in the engine and it was running with the previous owner most likely and us, that probably did it in.
Yeah.
I would.
What's crazy is like had no check engine lights, no car ran smooth. I mean, I drove it, you guys drove it.
No sounds at all.
Yeah.
Even leading up to the big bang, nothing came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
We had both of us in the car. We weren't listening to the radio or anything. If it started tapping, ticking, anything, we would have the wherewithal to pull over, and there was no warning.
Yeah, none at all. Smooth as butter until it all went bad. So it was a great 50 miles. We had a great 50 miles with this car. And honestly, I'm happy to be back next to it. And I can't wait for this new engine to be back in it because I love this car so much. And the price we paid on it, I still think we'll come out okay on it, even despite having to buy a new engine and pay you to put it in. We got it at such a good price that I think we're still good on it. So you guys can comment all you want that this was a terrible purchase, but it's created some good content, inevitably, whether it's good or bad content for us.
With any of these auction gambles, we definitely factor in the worst case scenario. This was the worst case scenario. And so we didn't hit a home run on this one, but I think I agree, we're still gonna come out okay.
Yeah, I mean, it probably went for like 10 or 15 grand less than it should have because they put engine damage on the listing. So people thought, okay, engine damage, it probably needs an engine. So, you know, worst case, it does need an engine, but we were able to hack one, get one used for like half or how much do you think this would be new at a dealer? Could you even buy this new?
40 grand.
Close to 40 grand. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
So we hacked it, we got it for way less, and we're saving a lot of money. What's the game plan here? So you already got things swapped over. You are fast, jeez. Yeah. I swear, you were just like, this thing just arrived the other day and you already got it.
Pretty much already, we swapped everything over. You know, obviously, the motor that we received a little damage on the valve cover, cam timing solenoid was broken, so we just swapped over all the accessories.
And did it come out kind of easy? You didn't have to take off the radiator, but the transmission had to come with it?
Yeah, transmission has to come with it when you take it out.
You know, so yeah, for viewers wondering, do you have an estimate on like how many hours the whole job like takes? Like how big of an undertaking does this take?
Probably about 25 hours.
Woo-wee. That's a lot of time, and you got to know what you're doing. How did the transmission survive, or did it survive?
The transmission survived, yeah. You know, luckily the transmission didn't get any blunt force to any of it. So
okay.
But
nice.
You know, let's get it back in the car and figure it out. We gotta fill it up.
Yeah, do a test drive.
I will tell you that because the motor was seized, you know, it was a little tough to get the torque converter off. So we had to make some tools and do some cool engineering to get the bolts out.
Well, I'm glad you did get it off and onto the new one, and we're literally just a few steps away from it going back up into the car. Like, that is exciting stuff. Yeah. Wow.
This is cool seeing the headers. Is this how we get some good Maserati sound, 4-into-1 collectors?
Pretty much, yeah.
Nice.
And then the cats sit right about here, right?
Yep, they come down.
Oh, so now's the time to do something?
Oh yeah, now's the time to do our cat deletes? No, I like it just as it is. I don't think we need to go crazier. That's right, guys, we like the exhaust with just the resonator delete X pipe. Yeah, what's the preventative maintenance we need to be doing while the engine's out?
Basically, we're just going to try to clean it up as best as possible. I mean, I just want to see how this thing runs, obviously.
Yeah, it only had 30,000 miles on it?
40.
40,000 miles.
which is not bad. So that had 31 or 32. This has 40. Close enough. It's the best I could find. Lowest miles one I could find for the money.
You know, we took the plugs out and looked at them. They looked okay, but I mean, we may do new plugs in it. I just want to see how it runs and make sure that we don't have, you know, any kind of.
Let's not do this.
Like, there's no damage with the, the used motor.
Yeah, I don't want to do this all over again.
Right, exactly.
Okay,
So,
I hear you.
This is where I'm so happy that with the 2018 update, they didn't touch the engine. Like, imagine they changed the engine for 2018 only, we'd be screwed. That would be a lot more expensive than, you know, where it is now, where we can get any year because they're all virtually the same. So thank you, Maserati, for not changing that.
And for those of you saying these Maserati engines are just like some Fiat Chrysler product and there's no Ferrari influence, get ready to have your mind blown. What does that say? Ferrari. This is basically a Ferrari engine with that, pretty much.
It actually is a Ferrari engine.
Oh, okay. See, Corey's here to prove it. Didn't you work with like the factory certified?
Oh, yeah, I was a Ferrari Maserati for 10 years, so.
Okay.
Yeah, these were all built basically for Ferrari. Even the new ones and the Ghibli new Quattroportes are all Ferrari built motors, but then Chrysler puts all of their electronics and
garbage on top.
Garbage on top. It makes it really, really bad. But
So when our 430 motor blows, how close is it?
So basically, this is very, very close to a 430 motor. But the difference is, obviously, it doesn't have a flat pane crank, and it doesn't have, you know, the compression's different. But intake manifolds, obviously, way different. Cams are different, but basically, it's very close.
Okay, so some of the architecture is similar. Cool, so it's basically is a Ferrari motor here. You heard it here first. Corey knows his stuff. But overall, these engines are pretty robust. Besides ours blowing up, they're pretty solid.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah. I mean, I see them with high mileage all the time.
I know, yeah. I mean,
Quattroportes with over 100K easily.
Yeah, and this is a very rare kind of situation. Obviously, you know, with it going through a hurricane or flood damage.
Yeah,
like that.
not the motor's fault.
Yeah, it's not the motor's fault. Yeah, I mean, these motors are pretty robust. They did have some of the timing, you know, the variator issues, but a lot of that was in the 4.2. For some reason, the 4.7s don't really have that much.
I heard the later years are better. That's why I really wanted to get a later year engine.
I've done a lot of them, you know, being the
Cool.
dealership.
Yeah, you know your stuff. That's why I brought it to you. You've probably done. Have you done engine swaps before on these?
I've done these at the dealership.
Oh geez. All right. So not even your first rodeo. Oh yeah. It's now the time for the twin turbo kit.
Yeah, twin turbo. This does compound charges, so twin turbo and
Oh, that sounds like a great idea. Now's the time.
and nitrous.
Comment down below, what do we need to do before that engine goes back in? Mod suggestions down below. No, probably just kidding. I like it as it is.
Okay, well it sure does look pretty. Still looks good in that interior, and it'll be coming back to life here soon. So, okay, I appreciate the update. Thanks for letting us drop by before that goes back in, which might happen like tomorrow or something.
Tomorrow morning.
Hopefully, if everything goes right, next video will be a first start and a first drive. Maybe. Does that sound good, Corey?
That sounds great.
Okay, all right, if everything goes right. We've had enough bad luck with this car, so hopefully it's all good luck and smooth sailing from here.
Okay, see you later, Corsa. Guys, stay tuned. When they're done with the Maserati, they're gonna be tackling a couple other projects we just brought them. One of them is our newest reveal, which is hanging out right there.
Which is also
Wait, you blocked it, Christian, right? There. Okay, that's all I'm gonna show. Okay, bye.
Thank you once again to Omaze for supporting the channel and making videos like this possible. Literally, this bill is going to be huge by the time we're done rebuilding the Maserati, so having sponsors in this scenario is very, very helpful.
Rebirth of the Maserati in 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, baby.
That it feels right.